Half-Shell Oyster House offers award-winning cuisine and service. Named TripAdvisor Best Top 10 Small Chains in the United States. Voted Best Seafood in Mississippi Magazine 8 times. You can enjoy award-winning oysters and seafood, delicious steaks, pastas, sandwiches, salads, and so much more in a unique, polished casual dining experience. Half-Shell Oyster House is located at 115 Laurel Park Cove, Suite 105, Flowood, Mississippi 39232. Or you can give them a call at 769-257-7586. And hey, tell them Sonya sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonya, and welcome back to She Say Sports. I got my boys back with me, the dynamic duo, Cedric Donaldson and Jameion Spencer, to discuss week 17 of the NFL. Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great, doing well.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. We're in 2022. That's
crazy.
So weird.
It's crazy.
I'm still looking for my flying card like the Jetsons.
I know. I'm like, what? Why aren't we in that place now? Because that's what I thought we would be. But you know what? People can't drive on the highway, so I'm good with the not having the flying cars right now. They're pretty bad. So how was y'all holiday?
Busy. But
Well,
good. I enjoyed the chaos.
You enjoyed the chaos. Did Santa?
I didn't do a whole. We was just at the crib the whole week. I mean,
Really?
the whole. Yeah.
I didn't. I went to my mom's, but I didn't really do too much. My sister cooked, and that's all I really wanted. Oh, and Aunt Emma's cake. Jamie, did your cake make it to Christmas?
It did make it. It did make
Christmas.
it. It made it to Christmas. It did make it to Christmas. It was I ended up finding myself very busy with the honeydew list, the elf on the shelf, as well as playing Santa. So
So you
it had no choice. It just I didn't get to it. That's all it was. It wasn't the fact that I tried to save it. I just didn't get to it.
Well, I did good. I only had 2 slices, and I left the cake at my mom's because I was like, I don't need it to be here because I would eat more and more. So yeah. I did good.
I didn't have one for Christmas, but I had 2 the 2 weeks before Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't make it.
Yeah, I know it didn't make it. So yeah. So I got to get this weight off, so I won't be calling her for a little while. Probably Easter is the next Easter will be when I reach out to her again. So, all right, well, let's get started. We got these games. So, and the regular season is pretty much a wrap. So, yeah, pretty much a wrap. So first we have up the Eagles over the football team, 20-16. Philadelphia has swept the season series in each of the last 7 games. Boston Scott's score in the third quarter was his career high 7th rush touchdown this season. Jared Patterson scored with the football team's 4th offensive touchdown in the first quarter this season. Say what you got.
I was impressed, man. Not just with the game against the Redskins, the football team, but just with the Eagles, man. They put it together, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge Jalen Hurts quarterback fan, but I'm a huge Jalen Hurts football player fan. So He's a football player, man. He's a leader. I'm interested. I'm happy they made it to the playoffs because I want to see what I think I know what that type of player can do in the playoffs. But I want to see, man. I want to see him prove me right or wrong. But I was impressed with the Eagles, man. The Redskins are the Redskins,
They're not the Redskins, sir. They're the football team.
The football team. Rich, they're going to reveal the name on February 2nd.
I saw that, and I'm ready because I'm sick of this. I hate this Washington football team. You said what, Seb?
They want the Red Wolves, but
Red Wolves?
Yeah, I don't think.
Are you serious? You being for real right now?
Yeah, that's what
that's one of the finalists. Yeah, that's one of the finalist names.
Oh my gosh. Well, whatever. I guess it's better than football team. I guess. What you got, Jay?
Yeah, I was like this. I am a Jalen Hurts fan, and I liked it. I like putting the complete game together. I think we're getting a chance to see his maturation kind of come full circle. But I think more interesting is to kind of understand what Ron Rivera is going to do with Washington. I mean, there's a lot of discourse in that locker room. I mean, I don't know if it was this week before, whatever it was, man, you had, D linemen that were going at it with each other on the sideline. So there's a lot of things there that need to be figured out culturally before we understand what that talent in that room is going to actually do on the football field. So, I mean, I know it's going to be, a done deal for this year, but hopefully they'll be able to put it together. But for the Eagles, I'm glad to see them kind of get to the point where we'll see a little bit more of what they got. I don't think they're going to really make a strong run for it this year, but maybe it's going to give us some valuable experience, especially for Jalen and the rest of those young cats around him, kind of getting into that playoff mode. So
yeah. I agree with you on that. They'll probably be out the first round or whatever, but I was shocked that they, because they've been struggling at the beginning of the season. Yep. They've had some struggles, but they made it. What about at the end of the game when Jalen was running and the fans fell down? I mean, it was like, dude, if they were just a little closer, they could have hurt him and hurt themselves. So thankfully, nobody was hurt, and he stuck around and, took pictures and helped people up. They need to fix that little, what was that, rail?
Yeah, it's the rail. And I think, a lot of times people don't realize how often those things happen.
Really?
Not necessarily near the tunnels, but you'd be surprised. A lot of the barricades and whatnot. People get excited. And they're not meant to bear loads. And I mean, when people get close to those tunnels, man, you'd be shocked. What they're doing, trying to get over and getting, a piece of paraphernalia, a handshake or something.
Right.
And I think, it was always, I think, one of the things I was, with some of the guys during the time, and they were like, look, we make it a point of trying to at least help those guys, get some experience throughout it so you don't end up in a dangerous situation. So you got to be cognizant of that stuff. So
yeah, that's true.
Just glad everybody was okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope we don't hear about any lawsuits later on.
Oh, they're coming. No, lawsuits are coming. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Anyway, next we got the Rams over the Ravens, 20-19. Matthew Stafford has 12 quarterback wins in a season for the first time in his career. Cooper Kupp has 90+ receiving yards in 12 straight games, longest streak since 1950. Justin Tucker has made 57 straight field goals in the fourth quarter and in overtime, longest active streak in the NFL. Mark Andrews has 40+ receiving yards in 15 straight games, longest streak in Ravens history. Jay, what you got?
So I liked it. I was impressed. The Rams put together, in my opinion, the show. I mean, Stafford is proven out to have a second life after all, right? I think earlier in the season, I really thought he was kind of showing his age. Maybe it was hurting a little bit. But the real story, and I think the exciting part for me, not only was kind of seeing that Rams defense battle with that O-line. I mean, Aaron Donald and those cats came to play, but OBJ, man, came up with 2 clutch catches there at the end. And we kind of saw a little bit of life and that we hadn't seen in a while, so they're going to be a dangerous team. And we know the Rams have a lot of talent. They run very deep. And I think they're going to make a hell of a run for the playoffs. They're going to be a hard team to get rid of no matter who is in their way. And I think everybody in the NFC is going to have to be put on notice because you can't dismiss these guys.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, man, first of all, I don't want to say kudos to the Rams, man, for putting Cam Akers back on the roster so he can get 3 games.
Yeah.
That was huge, man.
It's huge. Yeah.
Not only is it huge, but that was so quick for a torn ACL for him to.
He's still hurt. He's still
hurt.
But he's not going to play right now. He
can play. He's probably going to play in the playoffs, which is still going to be.
That's remarkable.
Soon, yeah.
But for them to make sure he's on the roster for his 3 games,
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, later on in life, that's going to be huge because I'm running into that right now. You know what I mean? Well, I ain't running into it. I ran into it, and it's affecting me right now. Because as the years goes on, they change what being vetted is or whatever. So if one of my teams that I was arguing with the whole time would have gave me my time, like I would be at a whole nother level right now as far as my retirement.
Okay.
Yeah, that's huge for them to do that. But the Rams are gonna be scary, man. To play them in the playoffs. If Matthew Stafford, first of all, let me say this: Cooper Kupp, man. He said something, mate. I was kind of proud of him when he said it. He said, "Man, I don't want to break a record in 17 games when everybody else did it in 16." So is it really breaking a record? You know? And I was like, all right, man, well, I can be your friend, Cooper Kupp. Because I thought he was going to be one of those guys like, yeah, I broke it, you know. Nah, man, he came back and got it straight. But I'm scared of the Rams, man. Like, you know, I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't think we want to see the Rams.
Yeah.
No, that was a really good game. I love games like that, especially when my team is not involved because it was so close. I mean, that was a scary one, but yeah, it was a really good game. So yeah.
Hated it for Baltimore, you know what I mean? I
like Lamar. They've had a kind of weird season. You know, really no team has just been like very, very dominant. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of just been, and when I say not dominant, I'm meaning, well, except the Packers. Never mind, whatever. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Dude, they don't have a life outside.
You said what?
They don't have.
Sad is getting over a cold. You said what now?
The Packers have a life outside of football. So, you know, everybody's getting hurt. So week to week, you got different teams playing every week, you know.
Right. You're right. They don't have it because all they do is eat cheese. Anyway,
Protein.
Next. Oh, this was a wild one. Next, we have the Bucks over the Jets, 28-24. Tom Brady is 30-6 in his career versus the Jets, 15-4 on the road. Tom Brady has tied Josh Freeman for the second most touchdowns in Buccaneers history. Ty Johnson's score in the third quarter was his third rush touchdown in 44 career games played. Zach Wilson has a 52-yard rush touchdown in week 16, the longest by a quarterback in New York Jets history. Now, of course, we're going to discuss AB, but I want y'all to give y'all analysis first before we get into all of that, okay? So, Seth, what say you?
I'm a Tom Brady hater. Let me get that out the way. My Tom Brady so great he came back. I'm like, he was losing to the Jets. I don't care if he was missing everybody. He was losing to the So he came back and beat the Jets. Okay. But I mean, it was a good game, man. I was proud of the Jets, man. Like when I turned, because you know, I tried my best not to watch the Jets.
Wait, that's your first time saying that this season that you were proud of the Jets. Jamie, did you hear that?
I heard that. We got to note that one.
Your first team.
I try not
recording.
I turned. I said, "What? The Jets beating? I hate the Jets. I hate Tom more than I hate watching the Jets." So that's what happened. So I started watching. Tom started coming back, and I was like, "All right." I knew what the story was gonna be at that point.
Right. Well, I didn't even watch it because I thought it was a done deal. And when I saw the score, I was like, say what now? I couldn't believe it. I was
Yeah.
shocked.
Yeah,
Jay, you said what?
they got Tom.
They got Tom.
Baby.
Yeah, they're but, you know, I tell you what, if you watch this game, and I did watch this one, you know, again, I'm slowly becoming a Robert Saleh fan, you know. And again, what he's done with that team, and they played with a little more pop and that energy we saw early on in the season, which is very good for a young team to kind of regain that second win near the end.
Right.
Now, if they put a couple of more wins under their belt, now you're talking about playoff steam, right? You know, so I like what they put together. And, you know, I mean, despite all the things we talk about with Tampa Bay and the experience they have, that was really more or less a master class in how you manage a game, right? You know, again, the Jets made some mental errors at the wrong times. And of course, you can't do that against a Tom Brady. You can't do that against that defense. They're going to take advantage of those errors, and they're going to put you in positions you don't want to be. It's kind of like playing Belichick all over again, right? They're going to put you in a situation that you're going to force to be able to hurt yourself, and that's exactly what they did. But at the end of the day, you know, we got to be able to appreciate the product that the Jets are putting on the field, man, because I love the energy they bring. I love it. Now, can we talk about AB?
Calm down, sir. Yes, I mean, somebody's ready. So look at look at him. Look at him.
You ready?
As we know, AB Antoine Brown, he how can I say this? He was a spectacle on the sidelines on Sunday. Took his jersey off, his pads, threw his, what he threw in the stands?
It was under.
Shirt.
Oh yeah, it's a shirt and his
shirt,
and gloves, all that stuff.
Peace out, you know, as he ran across the field while the teams were still on the field. There's been speculation that, you know, they didn't want to pay him his incentives. You know, he's supposed to get the bonuses, and so they wanted him to sit. Then I've heard today that it was reported that a outside surgeon told him not to play, and the Bucks docs told him to play, and his ankle was not really ready. It's just, go ahead, Jay. What you got?
Yeah, so you know, I think what we saw is really the culmination of a lot of frustration. You know, player frustration. I'm gonna put it this way on AB's part. You know, AB is a phenomenal player. When he's locked in and he's tuned in, I think we get one of the best that's ever done it at that position, considering everything he brings to the table. Look, he's going to be 100% when he's on the field, and the thing about it, what we saw was nothing more than the risk you take when you bring a player like AB on. You know, and I'm not going to tell you that he had a mental break or nothing like that, because most players, if they feel like they're in a situation that is going to hinder them or they're not safe, they manage it in a different way. I mean, those are grown men you're dealing with out there, right? You know, so in my opinion, the outburst he had was nothing more than the way you have to divorce in those high risk, high reward type situations, right? It is the goodbye, it's over with, and that's pretty much how it happens. A lot of times we see this happen in practices, not necessarily the games. And Ced can attest to this. You'd be shocked as to how that same scenario plays out during the week when no one is around, right? And we just really got a chance to glimpse behind the curtain on it. You know, there's nothing wrong with AB mentally, right? Everybody wanted to all of a sudden say, you know, this is another one of his diva moments and everything else. But I think at a certain point, when that sport divorces you and falls out of love with you, and you finally fall out of love with it, this is what you see, right? You know, we talk about that transition all the time when you finish your career, how it moves in. There is never a soft landing in these type of situations. So when divorce hits, it's typically pretty hard, and I think that's what we saw.
So you think it's a done deal for him?
I think he walks away from football. Yes. Because I don't think nobody at this point can manage an AB the way he needs to be managed. I think Bruce stuck by him way longer than a lot of people would have in that league, right?
And that's because of Tom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, and that I think he stuck by him long like he did because of Tom, because Tom has been fighting for him, and even in the before go ahead finish it.
Well, what I was going to say is that Bruce is one of these guys that recognizes that iron sharpens iron, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time when you put a receiving core on the field, you don't want a bunch of guys who are just strictly going to be out there looking at where I'm going to get the ball, when I'm going to get the ball, how deep do I run. He wants some guys that are going to scrap it up on every play. And that helps make young receivers better. That helps make a better professional. So I think he appreciated when AB was locked in what he brought to the field.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when it was time to say goodbye, I think that's what we saw.
Sid?
I think it was more. Let me personally. Let me tell this first. So in junior college, I had a situation where the coach told me that I was going to play, get to the game. I was going to play in the second half. We get in the game, come out in the second half. This coach comes to me and say, "Hey, the game too close. We can't put you in." Huh? The game too close? Yeah, we can't put you in. The game too close. I got to keep my starters out there. I took my shoulder pads off, my helmet off, and walked on back to the bus and ate my sandwich. You know what I mean? So I've had.
but you didn't sling it around on the field.
Yeah, that was a childish part of it. Now I think this happened. I think Antonio's agent got word that the Bucks were gonna let him loose, was gonna cut him. Because it's been a lot of friction ever since the vaccination card stuff and all that. And Antonio had an injury because he played the first half, didn't
he? Yeah, he played in the first half. Yep, he sure did. In the
NFL, once they get you on film, that's what they do. If you got an injury, let's test you out. Let's get you on film. And so if he would have ended that game and still had, said he had an injury, but he played the whole game, he would have got cut and there would have been nothing they can do. Like right now, he's still on the roster.
Right, but they said that the reason is because the report about the doctor saying he shouldn't have been playing. And that's why they have not released him yet, because of that.
Yeah, you can't cut him with an injury unless you're going to. So I think that's what AB did. He brought it to a head on the sideline and said, "Nah, man, I'm not going back in, because if I go back in, even if I play with this injury and you want to cut me, you got, carte blanche, you with no or anything."
Yeah.
So, now he went. He threw gas on.
He did. Well, and I think too, when I talk about that frustration, it also becomes, kind of that we're going to take it overboard, right? We're going to take it overboard. We're going to drive the point home, because that's what we do. We drive the point home. Yeah. And even outside of everything that's happened, like I know said, there's a lot of things that go out of the way and go unnoticed and under the radar when you hold a certain status. But when you feel like you lose that level of credibility with everyone and you have nowhere to go, I mean, your back's in a corner. You're not going to do nothing but fight at that point, right?
So what about a few weeks? I think it was a few weeks ago. Tom was frustrated and threw an iPad and broke it. I mean, that's not this? I mean, I know it's not the same thing. He didn't, throw the peace sign and do, run off the field. But it's just, I agree with you. I think, they get frustrated, but I think he may have been more frustrated because he already knew there was a possibility he was going to get cut. So I don't know. I wish him well. I think he got something going on mentally. You say he doesn't, but he got something going on.
I don't think what he has going. I don't think it's like a true like mental problem as far as like CTE.
I was about to say it could be CTE.
Nah, I think it's more just trauma.
Ego.
Man is still traumatized. He's like a little kid. You know what I mean? Like he hadn't grown out of the things that he would do.
Sense.
Yeah. So,
it's that same regressive thought we see when a lot of these players get to the point where they take it too far, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all fun and games and it's all well controlled in that world until you take it too far. I think in AB's case, he has that regressive syndrome where because of his ego, because of how he feels, he acts out. He acts out. That's how he expresses himself. Because for him, yeah. I mean, and that's what most kids do. So for him having to calm down and be able to talk it out and manage it like he's supposed to at his age and at his status in the league, I think he felt like that I deserve more credibility than this. I deserve more benefit of the doubt. And when you don't get it, damn, your feelings are hurt, right?
But look at that chip, that chip on his shoulder that make him act like that. Mm-hmm. That's what make him a baller on the field.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Because he went to Central Michigan. He came up. It's not like he came up in these big Power 5 schools, and he won a first round draft pick. So he's been fighting his whole life.
It's always been a fight for his credibility, right? Yeah. It's always been a fight.
Well, he added more flame to his credibility when he got a fake Vax card. So,
Look, I'm gonna be the first to tell you, he ain't the only one that's doing the fake Vax card.
I know he not. He not.
But he's the only one
that got caught.
He's the only one. No, he's the only one we're gonna hear about. I don't care if he got caught or not. It's a bunch of them that got caught, but they didn't necessarily put it out there like that because
even like with what's his name? Aaron Eyes Like Jesus Rogers.
Yeah,
he lied, but he's still playing.
He just verbally lied though.
Yeah.
Like
okay, so because he had written lie, it's a difference.
The card is a federal. That's what
it is a federal.
Yeah. It's a forgery, right? So you get caught with a forgery, and then you react on that forgery. It becomes something different. But we all know this. NFL has a lot of those dirty little tactics that we put out there. That again, if we can leverage in any type of way, being able to minimize this player's value either on field, off the field, or whatever it is, then it's going to be done, right? So don't think that yes, he put gas on the flame, but I guarantee you it was started by the league, right?
Oh yeah,
it was started.
I believe it. And I hope that he goes sit on somebody's couch and talk it out, because he needs to grow up. Because you're right, that's what children do. We can't solve all our problems. I mean, it's a lot of times. I mean, Jamie, we work at the same company. I be wanting to like throw papers up and be like, say some choice words, but like forget all of y'all. Yep. But you can't do that when you have bills and you like to eat. So,
well, you
have bills and you like to eat. You should have just chilled out.
I wish he would go sit down with Ocho Cinco. Right, because I think we love Ocho, right? I think Ocho went down that same path, but the difference between them now becomes the fact that Ocho was grown enough to understand, here's how I'm going to manage it, because I still got the rest of my life to live, and I don't think AB's come to that reality yet, right? And his legacy and his name has to be what he holds on to and fight for the rest of his life, because without it, he's going to continue to be in a lot of this same secular activity, no matter if it's with the Bucks, no matter if it's on, at the grocery store, at a Walmart, or whoever it is, every small thing is going to become that same type of reaction, and it's going to be hurtful for him down the line.
That's true. And I really appreciate how Tom still was sticking up for him after the game and still trying to build him up as a man. It's like, it's a lot. I don't know, how their relation, like what type of relationship they have, but he was trying. He really was. So
hey, I'm a Tom hater, but Tom, he came from that same deal though.
Yes, he did.
Like
that's
he
true.
was, he was a fighter, got looked over, came in pissed, ready to fight everybody. He had that same fire, but he handled his a little different. Because plenty of times where he wanted to throw his jersey down and walk away from.
Oh yeah.
But he swallowed it and stuck out, for them 6 rings he got.
Yeah, exactly. Now he the GOAT. So
yeah.
Just think, had he not did that, the difference it would have made. It would have been, he would have been out the league probably the first, second year. So we wish him well. Next we have the Titans over the Dolphins. 34-3. The Titans have 11 plus wins in 2 straight seasons for the first time since 2002 and 2003. The Titans have won back-to-back division titles for the first time since the 1960-1962 Houston Oilers won 3 straight AFL East titles. The Dolphins are the only team in the NFL history with both a losing streak and a winning streak of 7 plus games each in a season. That's crazy. I'm sorry. That is mean. Mike Gesicki, did I say that right? Gesicki?
I don't know.
Okay. Mike, I hate butchering. I meant to figure out his name. Mike Gesicki has joined Randy McMichael as the only tight ends in Dolphin history with 70 plus receptions in a season. Jay, you're up.
Yeah, this, the Titans played well. The Titans played a sound game. I think, Tannehill, for the first time, I really saw kind of stepped up and played a little bit outside the box. And I think it was more of that revenge game that you have on your ex, right? Knowing he came from Miami and he wanted to show them that you getting rid of me was a mistake, right?
Right.
So that may have been a little more motivation for him to play a little bit better. But I think if you look at it in total, outside of their ability to run the ball, he's going to have to carry that in order for the Titans to go anywhere, right? Their defense did what they were supposed to do, right? They kept Miami in a mental box that they could not find their way out of, right? They made them play the underneath conservative game and 3 and outed their way right out of the game. They weren't daring enough to go down the field, nor did they even get the time to do it because their O-line just was no match for that D-line. So, Titans put together a solid game. Wasn't an impressive game, but, we'll see when they get a better opponent, in my opinion, as to how they truly perform or what they show up like, even if they get Derrick Henry back this year or not. So,
I agree.
Yeah, the Titans. Let me say this about the Dolphins first. It is funny. You lose 7 straight, then you win 7 straight. Tua, in order for the Dolphins to do it, Tua is gonna have to cut the good guy, whatever role he got going on, man. He got to cut it loose, man. Like he's gonna really have to, or he's gonna find himself being replaced. And I think he has it. I think he can do it. But he's such a good guy. Like to say, good guy's gonna end up coming in last in his scenario if he don't find a way to become that cutthroat leader.
We need him to break an iPad or 2. That's what we need.
Yeah, we need
him.
Say a curse word. 1.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't you start again.
What?
You said 1 because last time you said he was talking about foot.
I'm saying he that guy. But the Titans, they're getting Henry back. Hopefully, it's a good sign to see him win without Derrick Henry. So I don't know, man. I think playing without Henry for this long is going to be beneficial for him in the playoffs. So we'll see. Like, it wasn't impressive, but I didn't think it would be impressive with Tannehill ever. So
yeah, because you're not a fan, correct?
now, yeah.
Cool. Up next, boy, I mean, Belichick, it doesn't matter who he has. They need to just keep him as the coach forever. The Patriots put up a 50-piece against the Jags, 50-10. Mac Jones has become the 8th rookie quarterback since at least 1950 to win 10-plus games. The Patriots have won 45 straight games when leading by 10-plus points at halftime, longest active streak in the NFL. The Jaguars are 0-7 on the road versus the Patriots in the Belichick era. And Trevor Lawrence has tied Blake Bortles for the most interception among rookies in Jaguars history. Said you're up.
Hey, I'm not even going to talk about that game. I mean, it's the fighting Urban Meyer. So, so we're going to move on from them. And I'm going to talk about what really matters for the Patriots, which is a game that they lost the week before. You know, that's the game that's going to propel the Patriots in the playoffs. Jaguars, they just came out and just did whatever they had to do. Mac Jones, you know, he looked like who he thought he was going to be or whatever. I mean, he's just solid, man. He's going to come out and do his thing. But Bill Belichick, he, like most coaches, are mad when you lose. Like, this dude love it, man, because when he lose, like, that's when he can go in and really, really, really coach you.
So his wheels are turning, like
he dials in. Yeah.
He dials in.
Yeah, I felt bad when I saw the Jags coming after that loss. I was like, oh Lord, man, they about to get.
Well, at least they got 10 points.
Yeah, they did
Better than Dolphins. Dolphins just kicked the field goal. I mean,
hey, but I'm ready for the playoffs start to see what how far Bill can take Mac Jones.
It's gonna be interesting, Jay.
So I'm gonna take a little bit of a different approach. I think this game probably took our perception of Belichick as a coach to a whole different level. If I'm anybody in that Jags organization right now, what I've done is taking that film from this game and showed you how you develop a young QB. He put him in every worst situation you could possibly think of at the worst possible time. And I saw near the end of that game, Trevor Lawrence, a light started to click with him. And I know the score did not dictate it, but there was a sense of urgency that young man had that we have seen with Mac Jones kind of slowly develop over the season. But at the same time, kept him minimized to where I think if you're looking at it and you're being smart and looking at him as a young QB, you'll say, hey, let's go back and define, even in all of these failures, there are a lot of wins that you have that you can learn from throughout this. If it's not about reading coverages, about changing, your plays, it was simply about the mechanics of where your feet are and how you're throwing. I mean, he came up short a lot of times, and we're not used to seeing that from somebody who's a quality QB. But I think it really set a blueprint for what we potentially could see a lot of improvement very quickly from them if they use it the correct way, right? So I think we really saw Belichick coach two teams at the same time, and it's very hard to say, but a guy like Belichick, I think he showed us what you can do with young talent that's willing to listen. And also he can show you what you need to be doing with your young talent as well, right? And it was weird because
so it's like a parent,
yes.
And then he like, come here, you do the same thing.
Let me show you how to do that. Yeah. Look, my dad was a lefty, right? So he was a southpaw. So a lot of times he'd be showing me how to do things and he's using his left hand. And he would do and try to switch over to his right a lot of times to show me again how you do things if it's not hammering a nail or screwing something, and he's doing it just as good, but a lot of times he's mirroring what exactly I'm doing. So I'm looking at him and I'm a little bit confused, but at the same time I'm kind of getting it at this, so I saw that game the same way. It's like,
wow.
Look, even when he didn't have his guys out there, he was really kind of showing you, hey, get back to your fundamentals, man. Go through your progression, slide, feel your pressure, understand your blitzes. He was throwing triangles at Trevor Lawrence that I'm sitting on the couch thinking to myself, like, dang, it's sitting right there in front of you, dude. They're about to blast your face off, So,
wow.
so it was an interesting game to watch. I mean, no, not a good game to watch, but from a football perspective, I really looked at it and I thought to myself, what a hell of an opportunity for this dude to get better.
Exactly.
And he didn't realize it.
I didn't look at it that way. What a great observation, Jamie. And that was really, really, I mean, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
Look, it's the same situation. This is why I have my biggest problem with Tom Brady when people say he's the greatest. It's much better quarterbacks that would have come out in the draft the year that Tom Brady came out and went to Bill Belichick. It's no telling what they would have done. But I think what Tom Brady had that the other ones didn't have that worked well for him was that chip that I was looked over, looked like a soggy wallet. His body was terrible, man. Like Coach.
What do you come up with this stuff? A soggy wallet?
Look, the proof is in the pudding, man. It's on tape. You can YouTube that one.
I'm sorry.
He looked like one of those air balloon things they have with arms.
I know the stuff that says. It's just soggy wallet. Go ahead, child. I'm sorry.
In order to have, I'm a big proponent of coaching, man. Like, you could be the best athlete you ever want to be. A great coach could take a athlete that's half of your talent and do wonders with them. So that's why I have a problem with Tom Brady being the greatest. I don't think you can say Tom greatest and not say Bill Belichick is the greatest coach. Tell the coaching game.
No, I agree. I mean, I kind of agree with you on that. He really is. He's a mad scientist. He's like, what's my dude? Popovich.
Oh, Popovich, yeah.
They like the same. I mean, they kind of remind me of. I mean, it's like they use the same tactics in a sense, and not you know what I mean. But it's just their teams like just gravitate to learn from them, and they just have a formula that works. I mean, it just works. I don't know.
It's that process that Saban is out. That's what it is. He has a process. He wrote an article back in 1991 that said, I want a quarterback. He doesn't have to have a big arm. I don't need him to be like a real athletic quarterback. I need receivers that they don't need to be like real fast. I just need to be able to work in space and catch the ball. So he planned all this out in 1991. And he put that team, according. And when he got to New England, what did he have at quarterback? A big arm quarterback.
Arm QB. Yep.
Throw the ball downfield every play, and Drew Bledsoe. He couldn't wait to get Drew Bledsoe out of there.
Yep.
So
he didn't want him.
And he drafted Tom.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. So,
wow. That's interesting. Next, we have the Raiders over the Colts, 23-20. Derek Carr's score in the fourth quarter was his 6th pass touchdown in the last 7 games. Hunter Renfro's score in the fourth quarter was his career-high 7th receiving touchdown this season. Jonathan Taylor has 100-plus rush yards and 1+ rush touchdown for the 9th time this season. Darius Leonard has 7 forced fumbles this season, the 4th most in a season among Indiana players since 1999. Jay, what you say?
I like the Raiders, man. The Raiders have brought a new hustle to the game. they're playing well. They're rolling, and they've got a little bit of grit to them. They've got a little bit of edge. They seem to be doing a lot better job these days of focusing strictly on the football aspect of things. And I mean, as much as we probably getting rid of Chucky was the best thing that happened to them, honestly, because it got them back into understanding who's in their locker room, what they got to do to get some games won, and they're squeezing it out, man. They're starting to look like a lot of the old Raiders teams we've been used to seeing, and that is when you come to play them, you better bring your lunch. And I swear to God, the longer Derek Carr hairs get, he looks just like Lyle Alzado for the most part. So I was really ready to throw him on the D line there for a second. So
I was like, he swear to God, what is he talking about?
I looked one time and I saw him, and I was just like, Jesus, he looked just like Lyle Alzado, man. So it's like
that strong face.
Yeah, and he just need a bigger beard, and look, we would have been rolling at this point. So,
but why when you said Chucky, we were like, like that's that man's real name. I mean, nobody was like, who are you talking about? We was like,
Well, no. It's kind of like Voldemort. I've never really been a huge fan of his anyway, but but for the most part, I mean, you have to give him credit where credit's due. He's brought some excitement. He's brought some conversation.
He brought conversation, all right. The last few months.
I think a lot of what he did was a lot of the show, right? It was the show that I think people want to turn the NFL into, and that is not concentrating on the X's and O's and concentrating more on the theatrics of the game. Which is, just talking about Belichick, when we get down to the X's and O's, he keeps winning games. And the winning of his games is what ultimately is what is going to fill stadiums. It's going to get people to believe in what you're doing, not the theatrics. Theatrics come and go, man. So, like I said, we talk about Chucky. It's like Voldemort. It's the name we don't mention, but, yet it is what it is. So
it is what it is. You're right. See?
He just look who they replaced him with the Raiders. I forgot the coach's name, man.
You know his name? Yeah, I'm gonna say, do you know his name?
What is his name?
Sabian, isn't it?
Is it Sabian? I don't know. It might be.
I can't remember.
But I saw interviews with him. I see how he react with his players and all that kind of stuff. So you get somebody that was, I ain't gonna say he disingenuous, because that's probably him. That's how he is, Chucky or whatever. But this guy just seems more like, he can really build a relationship with you. Like the relationship with Chucky was transactional. So this guy, like, you really building a foundation for him. That team, they already had talent, like real talent. So I was happy for the Raiders, man. But I watched that whole game watching my boy, man.
Quentin.
Oh yeah. What I mean? So I was cheering for the coach. I wanted my boy to win. I'm a lineman at heart. So,
yes, we know. Yeah. I'm gonna get you a shirt, airbrush say I'm a lineman at heart on the back.
So I'm a lineman in a golfer's body, man.
I love it.
But I'm eager to see what the Raiders can do in the playoffs.
It's gonna be interesting. Next, we have the Bengals over the Chiefs, 34-31. I know. Jamar Chase. Look at Jay. Jamar Chase had 266 receiving yards versus the Chiefs, the most receiving yards in a game by a rookie in NFL history. Joe Burrow has been sacked 3+ times for the 11th time this season. Chris Jones has 6 sacks in his last 5 games played. And Tyreek Hill has surpassed teammate Travis Kelce for the most receptions in a season in Chiefs history. Said, what you got?
Hey, man, LSU Midwest, man. That's what we go with.
You know what? He gets on my nerves. I already knew. What is it? LSU what?
Midwest. That's what we call it, man. So the Cowboys called me and asked me was I cheating on them, and I had to tell them, man. I'm kind of a Bengals fan, man. Hey, but it was awesome, man. Jamar Chase, I mean, the dude can play, man. Like it is what it is. He can play.
Mm-hmm.
But your college quarterback, you seen one of those throws, man, Joe Burrow threw. Like it was so the one to the outside where he turned around and I was ignorant, man. Like it was crazy. I don't even know what to say, man. I'm gonna let y'all just talk about it, but hey, I love the Chiefs too. The Chiefs full of players. So
that was a good game.
That was a good game. I was so hyped. I think I did get a little cheated too at the end. I mean, but you got to have some of that in order to make it in the NFL.
I think what we saw in this game, everything that was right with Cincinnati is what is wrong with Kansas City, in my opinion. The chemistry between not just Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but all of those receiving core. And you talk about Joe Mixon, you're talking about an operation that's clicking on one accord. I mean, they're almost reading each other's minds. That is what we saw with Kansas City 2 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. That everybody got very, very excited about because, again, they were putting up all of these huge numbers and they were running people off the field. Somewhere along the line, between their runs, they lost that chemistry. And I think they're struggling trying to get it back for whatever reason. But the changing of the guard, looking at this young Cincinnati team is like exciting for me. I mean, Cincinnati has had some talent over the years. Mm-hmm. They've never been really able to put it together for whatever reason or not, burnout, whatever it is, injuries. But this team, they are clicking. They are clicking on one accord, man. And they will be the LA Rams of the AFC, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go and see Cincinnati at this point in the playoffs because they're going to ruin some dreams. I can tell you that.
And when they get next year, when they get some defensive draft picks up in there, like especially linebacker,
mm-hmm.
Like they're gonna be rough, man. But I will say, Joe Burrow. We had all these coaches and everybody was like the Joe Brady offense and this and that. Okay. It's the Joe Burrow offense because he's proven that even in Cincinnati, if you blitz him, he's gonna hurt you.
Burn you.
He's gonna burn you if you blitz him. And that's why they call him BDJ, man. I ain't gonna say what that name is, but like if you get off, look it up.
Well, how are you gonna look down and say it? Look it up.
Yeah. My mama might say I can't look at the.
Oh wow. Well, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see their team. And Jamie, let me ask you this: why do you think the chemistry is off with the Chiefs? What's going on?
I don't know. I think we talked about this earlier in the season. I don't know if it's some edge that they've lost. Maybe it's become a little too easy, but you can't continue to do the same things out there week after week and expect to get a result in the NFL. I mean, coordinators, coaches, players are too good. And even with what they've been able to do, yes, we've seen a lot of tape and we got tape on Patrick and Tyreek and we understand how we need to play them. But their game hasn't evolved. And I think, and it's not necessarily because of the play call. And that's why I'm saying I think it's because of the chemistry, because most of the time they've been able to improvise their way out of a lot of situations, right? 3rd and long is nothing for the Kansas City Chiefs, right? They've been able to, control the field and control the flow of the game because of those unwritten rules, right? The scrambles, the movements, where I need to be, how I need to go, who I can throw it to, where makes a hell of a difference. And that's why I think some of that chemistry is off somewhat because I think rather than them, kind of organically allowing their games to come to them, they're being forced to play by the rules, right? and them playing by the rules just does not work for them. I don't think.
I think what happened is they won.
Yeah.
They won real easy. Like for 2 years, I mean, they lost the Super Bowl to Tampa, but to win a Super Bowl and get back and go to another one, and that's pretty much the same team they working with. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes, man, you got to shake it up. Some got to be shaken up. Like maybe you need like Airbnb. The coaching staff been the same. Like LSU just hired the linebackers coach as the defense coordinator. So maybe bringing in some new blood, man, to shake it up. Because if everybody is the same minds, is on it all the time, nothing's gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah. Interesting. Next, I mean, I'm glad we won, but I'm not impressed. We have the Bears over the Giants, 29-3. The Bears traded their first round pick in the 2022 draft to the Giants as part of the draft night trade up for the quarterback Justin Fields in 2021. The Bears have 12 takeaways in their 6 wins this season, 4 takeaways in 10 losses. The Giants have lost 5 straight games for the first time since week 1 and 5, 2020. The Giants are the only team to score 10 points or fewer in the first half of each game this season, the longest streak to start a season since the 2002 Cowboys. Jay, you have the floor.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago came and they did what they needed to do to win the game. But I think the Giants are just ready to get this season over with. They're done. I mean, when you look at them, hell, I think they showed up probably with more yards than they left with after that game. To be honest with you, they were not checked in at all. From the very beginning of the game all the way through. I just think that those guys need to go back, revamp. I'm not sure what Joe Judge is gonna be able to do in order to figure out where his personnel is most effective. But they're gonna have to refresh and start over on some things. So for Chicago, but I mean they played a solid game. And I think probably the score doesn't necessarily indicate how much better they should have played, because they should have put up a lot more points on New York, because I mean, in my opinion, they were playing very soft coverage. I mean, they were allowing, Chicago receivers just to be able to run up on them, if not pass. And I think for the most part, we probably missed more downfield opportunities than we had, not necessarily because we didn't see them, probably just because we didn't take our time to really allow the plays to mature. So they were somewhat kind of premature in doing that, but I think that's some easy stuff to kind of polish up. But again, kudos. They played off. They did the things they needed to do. But New York, I know they're ready to hit this thing over with.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we're at home, so that's why I'm not impressed about this game. It's whatever. But I'm looking forward to the next season. I think things will get better, especially when they let Nagy go.
Yeah.
Cedric?
I think that's the Bears are like, man, let's play as hard as we can to get this guy up out of here, because I think they already know he's gone. Now, I don't know what's up with the Giants, man. They just look. They are checked out, man.
Like Jameion said, they ready to get this season over with.
Yeah, they done, man. But I'm eager to see if it's gonna be the Fighting Harbaughs, man. Yeah. I think that might be our new coach.
Y'all. Who are you talking to?
You know more Harbaugh?
No, who are you talking to? Jameion?
No, you the Chicago fan.
But you said y'all like you're not a Bear fan. That's why I'm like,
he said he a Cowboy fan.
What? You played for the Bears, what?
He said he loved the organization, but he followed Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I know. Yeah. I know you're a Cowboys fan, but you still root for the Bears too.
I do root for the Bears, but
when we're not playing the Cowboys and vice versa.
Yeah. I think Harbaugh will be a good coach for him, man.
Yeah. I think he'll be better than Nagy, so we'll see.
Yeah. He's gonna he'll put together. Like, you're not gonna have like losing seasons with Harbaugh.
Yeah, I
But
like him.
A lot of players that stick around, either they get a chance to go get money and get away from his, his militaristic coaching style. They're gonna get out of there.
Yeah, cool. Up next, we have the Bills over the Falcons, 29-15. Each of the Bills' last 17 wins have been by 10 plus points, the longest streak in the NFL since 1950. Since 2019, the Bills are 18-2 in games when Josh Allen has 1+ pass touchdowns or 1+ rush touchdown in the first quarter. Matt Ryan has fewer than 2 pass touchdowns in 8 straight games, longest streak of career. Young-Ho Koo has 2+ made field goals for the 27th time since joining Atlanta in 2019. Sid, you're up.
Man, nothing like losing a game to a team that only passed 3 times to get you motivated, because the Bills been balling ever since.
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
hey, but this is what I expected from the Bills. I mean, Atlanta is Atlanta. I mean, they're not going. Yeah. But I expected the Bills to be a Super Bowl contender this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're gonna have a chance to go prove it, man. I mean, they played the Patriots. I mean, they played them, and that was a good sign, man. So I don't know. I like everything about the Bills. So I'm a fan.
Yeah, Bills are strong. Bills are strong. I think the only thing that really I looked at when looking at Atlanta is, I look at Kyle Pitts. Look, if we could ever get him somebody to get him the ball consistently, they may have a chance. Deion Jones, those are probably the only 2 things with Atlanta that I would even look at. I think, like the Giants, those guys are just, really fighting for contracts at this point, so. But the Bills, man, I'm really excited to see what they bring come to the playoff time. I mean, Josh Allen, hats off, man. He's a player. He's a player. I love it when he get into it. He gets locked in. He starts talking a little smack, and the more he gets hit, the more he dials in. So I love it what they bring, man. So it'd be good to see them come postseason.
Yeah, I like the Bills. It's gonna be interesting. All right, we got 49ers over the Texans, 23-7. The 49ers have won 6 of their last 8 games after starting the season 3-5. Elijah Mitchell has surpassed Vic Washington for the most rush yards among rookies in the 49ers history. The Texans have 1+ takeaways from the 11th time this season, 5 such games in 2020. Brandon Cooks' score in the second quarter was his 3rd receiving touchdown in his last 2 games. Jameion, what say you?
Yeah. So the 49ers, I think, have kind of snuck their way into the playoff talk, if I'm not mistaken. So, Trey Lance, and I've been a fan. I'm glad that we didn't have to talk about just enough Jimmy this week, but I thought Trey Lance played well. I thought he played very well, considering that it wasn't a very good Houston team. But you never want to see anybody play down to the competition either. So I thought he brought together some very good things. I mean, and he probably played the smartest ball he's ever played in his life by getting the ball to Deebo Samuels, right? And doing things like that kind of helps you at least look for, his ability at this point is solid. We just got to make sure he can get his calm level back down and get into making some solid plays. But I'm still hopeful that we can see the 49ers defense step up like we think they can or know they can, because they've got the personnel over there. But we just have not seen them turn it on and take over games like I think they can. But maybe hopefully once they hit the playoffs that they'll get a little hungry and we'll see a different team.
Cool. Sid?
I'm cheering for the 49ers, man. I like John Lynch. So, but they was playing the Texans. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it because I just knew the Texans were going Texans. So I want to see more of Trey Young, not Trey Young. What's the boy name?
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see more of Trey Lance, and I am ready for the Garoppolo. I want to, he should just go ahead and go to modeling, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, movies. Go to modeling.
Wait, what do you need to do?
Just start modeling. That's what. Yeah, I mean, he got a career in that. Like he could do that. Like for real, he's a beautiful dude.
He's actually really beautiful.
Beautiful.
He said wait. Well, Jamie said beautiful.
Beautiful.
he really is a beautiful dude.
But I just think Trey Lance give him a better chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
So and over the long run too, like Jimmy might be good for a game or two right now, but I want to see the 49ers. This is blasphemy coming from a Cowboy fan, but I don't hate the 49ers. Mm-hmm. I just hate the fans. So
well, I don't hate the 49ers because that was my dad's team. So I do root for them when they're not playing the Bears. But I agree. I've never hated them, but yeah, some of the fans are like the Cowboy fans. Some of y'all are a little extreme, but
that's what make it fun.
But I like the Cowboys when they're not playing the Bears. Well, because I lived in Dallas for 9 years, so that's the home team. So yeah. So oh well. Chargers over Broncos 34-13. Justin Herbert is 8-0 in games with 100 passing rating this season. Mike Williams' score in the fourth quarter was his 8th receiving touchdown this season. The Broncos are 0-8 since 2020 versus a team entering the game with 7+ wins. The Broncos are 3-8 versus AFC teams this season. Cedric?
I like the Chargers. I like Herbert. I like the defense. They got some good edge rushers. They got one of the best safeties in the game. Mm-hmm. They got a team, man. I've said this about like 3 or 4 teams already, but they're one of the teams you really don't want to see in the playoffs.
Mm-mm.
At all. And so the Broncos, man, they're coming, but they still got some pieces they need to. They got to figure that quarterback thing out.
Yeah.
But it was a good game. I watched it. I love to see Herbert. I call him Bear. Herbert.
No,
yeah. Herbert, Burrow. I like Baker Mayfield. Most people don't like him. I like him. I love to see those young quarterbacks, man, because they all they got this little like Steve McNair, Brett Favre like deal going on. So when they play, I tune in.
Cool. Jay?
Yeah, Chargers are hot. And I think this isn't necessarily the game I want to see. I really want to see next week when they play the Raiders. And I can't think if it's in LA or Vegas, but 2 very scary teams for anybody in the playoffs. They're going to have to scrap it out, man. Justin Herbert has shown a little edge since getting knocked around a little bit, but he's shown a little edge, a little hunger. And, man, you'd like Keenum, look, their receivers, they got a veteran core. They got some solid cats out there that'll do everything they can to win a game, So, I'm excited to look at what these guys are going to bring come playoff time. But next week, I think for them is going to be the real test as to who we're going to see coming up. And I like Justin Herbert, so I'm really hoping that they're gonna step up and show what they can really do.
That's gonna be a good game. I agree. West Coast they got some teams for you.
Yep.
3 of them are balling. Yeah.
Yep.
Next, we have the Saints over the Panthers, 18-10. The Saints have 7 missed extra points this season, 7 in previous 5 seasons combined. Excuse me. The Saints have scored in 320 straight games, 4th longest streak in the NFL history. After starting the season 3-0, the Panthers are 2-11 in their last 13 games. The Panthers have joined the 2012 Cardinals and 2001 Chargers as the only teams with 11 losses in a season after being 3-0. Jay?
Yeah, I look at the Saints, and I just think it's a shame that for as well as that defense is playing, that we can't get some points on the board, right? You know, we can't get an offense to help match their energy. I know we got Quan Alexander back. You had, Mario. You had Cam that were out there playing, and I mean they were bringing heat all over the place. But what's more intriguing to me is the fact that that Carolina played Sam Darnold, right? And I like Sam Darnold, but I'm not sure if that's a fit. Would Rule Darnold hit that offense? I'm not sure if that's a fit, and so I'm not really clear if where Carolina's going with their organization. So that may be another 2-3 year project that we'll see. But I'm really, really hoping that the Saints can maybe get their stuff together from an offensive perspective, to really match and bring what that defense now has become. They kind of remnant of the Dome Patrol days. If only we could get some guys to get the ball out of Taysom Hill's hand and run it down the field. We could probably bring in some more. So, but
yeah. They're struggling right now for sure. I know the Saints fans want them to get it, figure it out. Said.
Hey, I don't know if you guys watched the LSU Kansas State game last night, but LSU was out there playing with a receiver, like a receiver, not even a starting receiver, just one of our receivers.
Chew Breeze.
Yeah, Chew Breeze. Chew Breeze played quarterback. That's basically what Sean Payton is doing in the NFL right now. Yeah. And I know I hate, come on, I hate on the Saints more than anybody. But I will give Sean Payton Coach of the Year right now. Because he's holding it in the role.
He's holding it together.
Yeah. The defense is the key. I mean, they strong, but man, this man got like a fullback at quarterback.
Give it up to the big boys. Yes.
So man, I don't know, man. I think if they allow him to keep extending season, like he's gonna find some little tweaks to figure it out. Like I don't know how far he's gonna go in the playoffs and all that kind of stuff, but if he can get in there, I don't know, man. Because once you get there, you can do anything. And I brought LSU up because we had a receiver playing quarterback last night, and our coach was trying to run a real offense. Like, it's like, dude, what are you doing? You got a receiver playing quarterback. Do anything. Like, you can do anything in your imagination, and no one's going to be mad at you about it.
Y'all really struggling, too, over there.
Who's that?
LSU.
Oh, yeah, we had 38.
I mean,
do they even have a full squad, a scholarship squad out there?
It's hard.
We couldn't even practice for the bowl game because if we would have lost one more person, we couldn't play.
My gosh. I didn't know it was that bad. I knew y'all was like having some. I'm sorry, Sid.
Ah, man, it was great.
Look at Jamie and Smug. Look.
Yeah. It's great for me. Hey,
I can't say much, man. My team only showed up for a half, so and we had enough people.
We're in the same situation though. New coaches.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say is foot. I mean,
foot.
God bless you, foot. So next, we have the Seahawks over the Lions, 51-29. The Lions tried to put up a fight. Russell Wilson tied Hall of Famer Peyton Manning for the most quarterback wins in a player's first 10 seasons since at least 1950. DK Metcalf has surpassed Joey Galloway for the most receiving yards among Seattle players in their first 3 seasons. Jamal Williams' score in the fourth quarter was his 3rd rush touchdown this season. DeAndre Swift is the first Lions running back with 1,000+ scrimmage yards in the season since Jacquay Bell in 2014. Said, you're up.
Hey, man. Let's get Russell on up out of there, man. Let's start a GoFundMe.
Gotta go.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Yeah. I don't want to see him with the Saints because That'd be all bad for the Cowboys.
Look at Jay.
But I would love to see what Sean Payton could do with Russell Wilson, man. Dude, that'd be awesome. For the football fan, not for the Cowboy fans.
Look at here. I thought that game was Russell Wilson's tryout for Sean Payton. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny that we talked about these games right after one another. But I watched Russell play this game, and he I'm a Russell fan. I've always been a Russell fan. I mean, he came out firing. He was doing some of the things we saw Drew do back in 2009 and 10. Yeah. With manipulating his safeties and utilizing his vertical routes like crazy. And we hadn't seen Russell do that a lot this year. And I think that's been part of the frustration. I mean, he even got DJ back involved the way that he needed to be, for a big body guy. And but I really the more he played, I just really saw Sean sitting in front of him on the sideline. I don't know why. And everything, because my conspiracy theorists have been telling me that if he doesn't get Russell this year, he's gonna be the Jaguars' new coach. But I digress. So but it's for Seattle and those guys. I mean, yeah, they came out and played, but for me, the highlight was looking at Russell, man. He looked good. He looked good considering. Seemed like his hand was feeling a little bit better. He was a little more comfortable throwing the ball. He wasn't as I thought. Finicky about anybody hitting that hand. You could see him make contact several times and get back to the person we know who he is. But
we will see. That will be very, very, very interesting.
Tell him and Sierra, come on down New Orleans, get some.
I love it. I'll be at the games.
And
Level up. Oh, baby, I'll be there. I love me some Sierra. And I love Russell too. His grandfather went, he was at Jackson State. He actually was one of the founding fathers of Delta Delta Kappa Alpha Psi. So he's family. Next we have Cardinals over the Cowboys.
Oh.
That was a heartbreaker, 25-22. Antoine Wesley's score in the third quarter was his third receiving touchdown in his last two games. Matt Prater's 53-yard kick in the second quarter was his 66th career-made field goal of 50-plus yards, most since 1960. Dak Prescott has surpassed Tony Romo for the third most pass touchdowns in a season in Cowboys history. Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard are the first Dallas RB duo with 1,000-plus scrimmage yards, each in the same season since Hall of Fame Tony Dorsett and Herschel Walker in 1986. Jay?
I enjoyed this game. And I know, and I'm not gonna say Dallas choked away another one in December, but but I really enjoyed this game. I thought both teams really came out swinging. I mean, these were two quality teams. This is the type of football you really wanted to see from both organizations. I think it was a matter of really who had the ball last, to be honest with you. It was really one of those games that mattered but didn't matter because we know both of them are going to go on the path in the playoffs, and they're going to give whoever they're playing hell. But at the end of the day, I think from a Cowboy perspective, looking at Zeke kind of show a little life, not as hurting as much on that knee as we've been seeing him in the previous few weeks. Looking at Dak continue to get more comfortable with where he's at from his developmental stuff. I think the biggest part of it that we hated to see was losing Michael Gallup, right? And hats off to that dude, because how tough are you? Because you could see when he took off that he took an awkward step, and for him to still catch a touchdown and tear an ACL, man, Jesus, that's Superman type stuff, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. But man, all those guys, man, they showed up. It was very well played game, and again, if you gave it 5 more minutes, and I think maybe the outcome would have been different.
Yeah. Hey, man. I think losses this close to the playoffs is nothing but good for the Cowboys, man, because they seem to rest on their laurels if they get too high. You know what I mean? So Arizona, they did what I want the Cowboys to be able to do. You know, the game came down to the end. Arizona had the ball, and they snuffed them out. You know what I mean? They basically put the blanket over there, a pillowcase over their head, and cinched it up, man. And it was beautiful to watch, you know. But the Cowboys, they definitely, I think they need this, man, because a lot of games we won this year, like we haven't really beat a team with a winning record, you know.
And that's what I was about to say. So what is it? It's like they're not beating teams with winning records. What does that say though? Because they got to go into the playoffs.
And that's what I'm saying. You play them close. They played all of them close, like real close.
True. That's true.
They made 1-2 little mistakes. And because the Cowboys are never, the players are never, they don't face consequences when they make those mistakes, you know, because the owner is running the program. The coach can't say anything to him. Like, you can't tell Dak, if you know, you throw that dumb pass again, I'm going to sit you on the bench. Dak's not worried about that, you know, because they got Cooper Rush. They know he's not going to put him in. But when you play good teams, no matter how talented you are, 1 or 2 mistakes make you lose by 1 point or 3 points or 5 points, you know, and that's the way they've been losing to like the Bucks, to the Kansas City Chiefs, to the who else they lose to?
Green Bay.
To Green Bay.
Of course.
To the Cardinals. You know, so you can't make mistakes like that. You can't out-talent everybody. And that's what the Cowboys try to do. But when you come to teams with, you know, I ain't going to say as much talent, but just as much talent, you know, you can't do that. And I will say this. I've been on this soapbox all year, but people have been calling me a hater. Our corner, how many picks he got? 10 picks?
Yeah. 10 or 11, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been saying all year, I was like, hey, man, he's doing well. I mean, I like the picks and all that, but I said he give up a lot of plays to get those picks. And a lot of times that's cool. But now that the season's coming to the end, you know, people are finally realizing, like, the only way you get to 10, 11 picks in the NFL is people not scared to throw it at you. Like, once you get to 6, 7 picks, most people say, I'm not throwing it at that guy no more. But he leaves so much opportunity, you're going to get enough balls to get that many picks if you got ball skills.
Yep.
Right.
And I was trying to explain that to people earlier, and they didn't want to see it, but now they're starting to see it. Like, you don't get that many picks. Deion never got that many picks. You know his ball skills because people weren't going to throw it over. But if they keep throwing it, it's something behind it. It's the reason why they keep throwing at you. So, but he's giving up more yards in any corner in the NFL this year.
Big risk, big reward.
Big risk, big reward.
Yep.
So
I tell you what, it would have been interesting if D-Hop had played. You know, he would have had to show up at a certain point and see how well he was, because D-Hop was going to force you to play, right?
Yeah. We ain't got nobody over there to cover D-Hop. Don't nobody have nobody.
Nobody covering D-Hop. Yeah.
I don't feel bad.
All right. We have Packers over the Vikings 37-10. Excuse me. Aaron Rodgers, I have eyes like Jesus, but not his heart, had 2+ pass touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the game for the 12th time this season, the most such games in a season in NFL history. Green Bay has clinched the top seed in their conference for the 4th time since 1970, 3rd time with Rodgers. Justin Jefferson has joined Hall of Famer Randy Moss as the only players in Vikings history with 15+ receiving yards in a season. KG Osborne's score in the 3rd quarter was his 4th receiving touchdown in his last 5 games. Say what you got.
Hey, man. He that guy, man. Like, he is Jesus in cleats, man. Like,
Look at me. Hallelujah.
Hey, and Devontae Adams, super cold. Like,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot you can do. I don't know, man. Like, I think they're gonna win the Super Bowl, man.
You think so?
I think Green Bay's gonna win. Because if you have to go to Green Bay, which you probably gonna have to go to Green Bay, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, man. So I like Minnesota. I mean, I'm a Justin Jefferson fan. Patrick Peterson over there. But they got the quarterback, Kirk Cousins. That's not really your cousin. Your mama been lying to you. He really your brother. She had, but anyway, option. But
goodbye.
He just can't. I don't like him as a leader of a team, man, and I don't see that team going anywhere until they get rid of him, man.
Wow. Jay?
Yeah, I'm about the same. I'm not a big Kirk Cousins believer, but I told y'all at the beginning of the season, though, that, again, with all the drama that we thought was there, we were going to see the best of Aaron Rodgers this year. And I have been an Aaron Rodgers fan since he was at California, just because of the way he spent it. It just captures my imagination. And I think what we're seeing is that he's making it look easy for these guys. But what's more impressive to me is looking at how a Devontae Adams, the subtle things he does that makes it impossible for a defensive back to cover him. If you ever look at any of the deep balls that he catches, like, and Sid, you can attest to this, as a defensive back, you really rely on a receiver reacting, getting ready to catch a ball, right?
Yeah.
That's how you know where the ball is. But when I look at Devontae, like, he literally reacts at the very last moment. Yeah, and you cannot react to that. I mean, he throws his hands up at the very end of a throw, right? And it makes it impossible for anybody to and think about how much trust you have to have in your QB that he's going to put it where you need to be, and also for that QB to know that no matter where he puts it, you're going to make a play, right? But you start to see that a lot, not only with Devontae, but all of those other receivers as well. Doing a lot of those same things. And, again, they're tough, and they're going to be tough. And I think the difference this year that we don't see, what we hadn't seen in the previous years, is that their defense is actually halfway decent. Right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's true.
They have put together some packages. So, they're going to be rough to deal with in Lambeau.
Yeah, they allow him to be close at the end of games, and if he's close, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. That's
he's
true.
winning.
Last but certainly not least, Steelers over the Browns, 26-14. What a magical ending for Big Ben. We've been saying all season it was time for him to let it go. Big Ben has 92 wins at Heinz Field, 83 more wins than the next closest quarterback since the stadium opened in 2001. TJ Watt is the first Steelers player with 4 sacks in a game since Joey Porter in week 6, 2001. And he needs one more sack to beat my man, Michael Strahan's record.
Your fan.
That's why I changed it. The Browns have lost 25 straight games when trailing by 8 points. Nick Chubb has 50-plus rush yards for the 45th time in his career, the most games among Cleveland. The most games, among Cleveland players in their first 4 seasons since 1950. Jay, what you got?
Yeah, it was a good game, solid game. TJ came to play. I really thought with Baker being out and everybody else that we were really going to get a healthy dose of the Cleveland running game, and they just didn't, have a lot of steam, didn't have a lot of momentum. Steelers defense came to play. So, with the effectiveness that they did have, we really, I think, saw just really the reset, kind of maybe going into next year for those guys. But I just think it's at this point a shame that we don't get a chance to see more of the Steelers that we've been used to seeing. I think this is the first time this year that we can really look at Pittsburgh and say, yeah, that's the team I'm used to seeing on the field for the most part. So maybe it's a way to end it all for Ben, but hopefully it'll help kind of drive some momentum going into the next seasons.
Okay, say it.
Yeah, man, it's hard to hate on Tomlin. I really like the guy. Being a Cowboys fan, can't tell people in public that you like the Steelers. But I was happy to see Big Ben get the win at home, last home game. Hopefully he toss it in and don't pull the Brett Favre and come back 2-3 more times and, kill itself. But it was good, man. I'm a Browns fan. I like what the Browns are building over there. Baker Mayfield, toward the end of the year, he was banged up and he's been out trying to tough it out, and it just ain't it's not working out for him. So going to that defense is, if they can keep it together, add a piece or two, maybe in the secondary, they're straight, man. And if Baker can come back healthy, keep the turnovers down, they need another weapon too at receiver. But the running backs, maybe an offensive lineman. I mean, they got the foundation.
Yeah.
They're probably better than a lot of teams that's going to be in the playoffs this year. They just couldn't put it together in the right moments.
Okay. Well, we wish Big Ben well. Happy trails to you until we meet again. What was that on? Some cowboy, I don't know what that was. That Hee Haw? I don't know.
No,
was
just
it Hee Haw?
I don't know. I ain't seen so long.
I don't know. Anyway, so said you mentioned it earlier. I was going to ask you guys, who did you see in the Super Bowl and who wins? And you said Green Bay is winning, but who else do you see in the Super Bowl against Green Bay?
Oh, man. I don't know, man. I want to say, I don't know. It's according to how it line up. Like, if you got to go out, like an AFC, if you got to go out to Buffalo, like one of those West Coast teams, got to see Buffalo in Buffalo, I think it's Buffalo. But if Buffalo has to go out over there, I'm going to say one of those West Coast teams, But Aaron Rodgers is going to win it, so it don't matter.
Jay?
I'm gonna kind of go the other way. I think the champs are still the champs until they get knocked off. So I kind of see Tampa Bay and Buffalo in the Super Bowl. I kind of see that one, because I think at the end of the day, Tampa is still going to be a veteran team. I think they're going to pull together and make a healthy run. I mean, they still got a good team, and despite how old we think they are, the pieces that are kind of falling apart, I think they know who they are, and that means a lot when you walk in and trying to make another Super Bowl run. It's tough, but I think they got the personnel to do it.
Now, I'll tell you this, I wouldn't be shocked if New England was in there in the AFC. I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think this is the year for them. But I wouldn't be shocked if they were able to pull it off, because playoff Bill is something else.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Well, guys, as you know, last week we lost a football legend. John Madden died at the age of 85. He was the voice of the NFL in our childhood, pretty much. He was the head coach for the Raiders and led them to 8 playoff appearances, 7 division titles, 7 AFL, AFC championship game appearances, and led the Raiders to their first Super Bowl win in Super Bowl 11. He was also a color commentator for the NFL from 1979 to 2009. He really was the voice of our childhood, which earned him 16 Sport Emmy Awards. He also is the name of the best-selling football video game series from 1988 until now, and he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2006. I mean, John Madden was and is football. I don't know anybody else career in football like his. What are your thoughts on John Madden as a former NFL player? What are your thoughts? I'm saying as far as you all being former NFL players.
Yeah, so I can tell you, for me, I had an opportunity to hear him speak in a very small, intimate session. It was more like a forum, and this is while I was in college. And I don't think that really he gets enough credit for shaping the face as we know it today of the NFL, or how we've seen football evolve. I think what people don't understand about him is that, not only was he a colorful voice and a coach and a brilliant football mind, but as a player, former player, part of an organization, he really spoke, and even in that small forum, spoke about the obligation you have to pay what you owe to the game that you love, right? And it wasn't just about the product you put on the field, but it was about how you treat people, treating people the way you want to be treated, setting a standard, no matter who you played for, what you played for, paying homage to those folks who may not be at the front lines or getting all of the glory for the most part. I had a lot of respect for him, watching him interact with people on a regular basis. I mean, he treated a lot of folks the exact same way. And I was in awe because I really expected for someone who carried that level of clout and stature in that game to not be as grounded as you really would hope to see, but you really felt that his comments and his advice was extremely organic, and it made an extreme impression with me as a young college player then, to not only understand what I was doing or what I meant or what value I brought, but also to just remember to enjoy it, to understand it, to help give something back to it that you didn't walk in with, right? It was all about setting those building bricks for the next person coming behind you. And I really appreciated his perspective, but at the same time, really loved the example he set forth for a lot of people behind the scenes.
Awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Cedric?
I was talking, first of all, when they said John Madden had died, for some odd reason, I thought John Madden had died already. Like,
What?
I thought like the second time. I was like, "Eh?"
Oh, so
Really?
you thought it was like Betty White that everybody kept saying, yeah, that broke my heart too. But go ahead.
But man, John Madden, I got a chance to meet him when we was in Tampa. And, he come and bring the bus and he interview people before the game and all that kind of stuff. First of all, he was huge.
Yeah.
He was huge. But I told somebody the other day, the NFL putting John Madden as a face of the league was like the United States hiring like a black mama housewife to run the country. You know what I mean? Like, she gonna make it work. She gonna nurture everybody, and to make it. And that's what John. He was a lineman, and so linemen are the most unappreciated people on the field, but they do the most. Like, they put their body in front of you. In order for you to score your touchdown, they take that first smack in the face. In order for you not to have to do it, take it. So, and he when he stepped out, that's how he treated people. He was the perfect person for it. And most people think linemen are big and dumb. But 9 times out of 10, the linemen are the smartest people on the field. Center, probably the smartest person on the field. But so when you see him on on the broadcast, and he's drawing and making jokes. He's playing into you a little bit, giving you a little, but behind the scenes, man, the dude was super smart.
Yeah.
And everybody around him, you didn't have a small, like I was nobody on the team. You know what I mean? Practice squad came right over there, shook my hand. Hey man, how you doing?
Didn't matter. Yep.
Yeah.
That says a lot about his character.
Yeah. So, but like I said, if you want to have a leader or a face that's gonna be inclusive, you got to go get a person like him, because he came from the bottom, as far as like NFL players are concerned. So wow. He was an awesome dude, man.
Look, I'll tell you this one little quick story. When I was mentioning in that little forum we had, he is constant football mind, right? He's all about the details, but he is constant football mind. So when he has a chance to dive in, he would. But at the little forum we were at, they served a lunch, right? So of course everybody, and if you've ever been to any of these luncheons, that they bring out all the silverware, white tablecloths, and everything else. So soon once he started speaking, of course, you quit eating and you pay attention to what this man is saying. But before we knew it, he had cleared a table, right? And when I say cleared a table, he had taken plates, stacked them up, walked them up, put them away so no one would have to come and walk behind you, and then quickly took out like some markers and started drawing out stuff on the tablecloths in terms of again how we structure what we do, how we do it, and his whole point was, no matter what happens on the field, what you do off the field in terms of the minor details matter, right? But I think for me, I was thinking to myself, look, most coaches just throw these plates to the side, but this dude had the wherewithal to stack them up neatly, take them so no one had to clean up behind him, and that for me was like, wow, like you don't have to go and do that, but to have him go and do it, that really spoke to who he was.
That's a servant's heart.
Yeah.
You show people, I'm not bigger than you think I am, and that's a true leader. That says a lot, because he could have easily told them, hey, come and get these plates. Yeah. I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't. And that says a lot about how he feel about people. I'm glad you all got to meet him. And, that says a lot about him. That makes me even more proud of who he is, even more now, just hearing that story. Yeah. And, both of your stories. So it's just, the legacy he left behind is truly phenomenal. And pro football is way better for it. Our sincere condolences to his family, his fans, his former players, even to y'all. I mean, y'all met him, and it's pretty cool. So rest in peace, Mr. Madden, rest in peace. Well, hey guy, this is the end of the show, and we play you can get with this or you can get with that. And that's the way for me and the guests to get to know, me and the listeners to get to know the guests better. So I ask you guys a few questions and you tell me which one best fits you. Okay. Would you prefer bargain or top shelf?
Bargain. Unless you're talking about liquor.
What are we talking about specifically?
Well, when I put the question down, I saw top shelf, I thought liquor, but let's say.
I was thinking food, so I'm always gonna go quality, man.
Yeah, so liquor, you want to go liquor, said?
Yeah, liquor, yeah. I'm using top shelf, yeah.
Because if I see you drinking some vodka,
yeah.
That's what they use to clean the hibachi ribs.
Just know you're not gonna see me the next day because I'm gonna be hung up.
Jane, you said top shelf for food.
Yeah, I'm gonna go top shelf. Yeah,
I agree. Both of you. Would you prefer an angry client or an angry coworker?
Coworker.
Angry coworker.
Coworker.
Yeah.
Y'all don't care nothing about it.
Yeah, client is my money. So my
Right.
coworker be mad. I got time to fix that. But
Mhm. Okay. I agree. Free travel for 1 year or free lodging for 5 years?
give me the free lodging.
Give me free travel. Free travel for 1 year.
Why you choose free lodging, Sid?
Because if I put my house note up for 5 years, that's a lot of money. So then I can travel. But I don't have time to travel in one, according to what you talk about. Like right now, I can't leave the house. So
That's true. And Jay, why you choose travel?
Look, I think because, if I had free travel for 1 year, I'm going to just go ahead and knock my whole bucket list off for that year. Because that's probably the only window I'm going to get at this point.
True. That's true. I think I'm going to choose lodging because I'm like him. I stack the money and then, go, because you can't do nothing right now anyway, but we're pretending that pandemic is not here. So, yeah. Oh, this is going to be a hard one. Would you give up sugar for life or salt for life?
Sugar.
Me too. Sugar all day. We will be like 20 pounds.
Yeah. Probably need it, but no, I can't give up my salt, my chips.
Right. So would you prefer a snow day or a planned day off? And that planned day off can be Martin Luther King or a planned vacation day. Would you prefer a snow day or a planned day off?
I'm gonna say planned day off for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go planned.
Yeah, planned day off. Snow days become hectic.
Yeah, they do hit different though. When you wake up, you ain't gotta go to school because
that's what. Or work.
See, most time I ain't had a chance to enjoy that because a lot of times I get that call.
Yeah. So me. I prefer. I think the snow day. I'm like you. It hit different when you wake up. You like, I ain't gotta go to work, or school. So I'm going with snow day. You prefer mowing the yard or weeding the garden?
Mowing the yard.
Yeah, I like mowing the yard. Like that's my thing.
That's your thing. Do you have a riding lawnmower?
No, I push.
Okay. I don't prefer either. Hands, you prefer hand soap or hand sanitizer?
Hand soap.
Yeah, hand soap. I'm getting used to the sanitizer thing. Sometimes I just want to go back to soap.
Yeah, I agree. When me act like it's gone. I just want to go back to soap. I already kind of know the answer to this one in a sense. I started laughing because I could see y'all. Would you prefer to test the waters or dive in the deep end?
Deep end. Because if I test it, I ain't gonna get in.
Too much thinking. Might as well dive in.
I already knew both of y'all was gonna say that.
Dive in.
I'm a tester because, and I know what you mean, because if it's cold, if you testing, you're not, and that's me, I'll be like, that's all right, I'm not doing it. But yeah, I laughed because I knew both of y'all would say that. Road trip or stay home?
I'm gonna say stay home.
Yeah, if I'm road tripping with kids, I'm staying home.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Why?
Because road trips, they rough with kids, man.
They want to stop every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Got to use the bathroom.
I can't go in the bathroom with them. I'm trying to take them into my bathroom, and it's a lot for me, man. I got 2 little girls.
That's right. You got girls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So both of y'all want to stay home.
Yeah.
I like the staycations.
Okay. Last but not least, this is so hilarious. Which do you prefer? Joe Montana football or John Madden?
Joe Montana.
He would say
Montana. Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, man. Hey,
Joe
look, that's my
But that's what
twin.
you going with, Jay?
I'm gonna go with Joe Montana. I love Madden.
Blasphemy.
I wouldn't.
All right, I'm going with Madden, man. Boom.
Can I compete?
But what you say, Jay?
No. I was just saying. Look, I'm gonna go with the Joe Montana, man. I love those days.
Did you play it? You played it actually?
Huh?
You actually played the Joe Montana?
Wait, are we talking about the game?
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay.
Joe
Look, I thought. No, Joe Montana. Joe Montana football. The game was horrible.
It was terrible.
That's why look, Sid was like Madden.
Boom.
He knew I was- Oh, okay, no, not Joe Montana, the player himself.
I was going, look, West Coast offense. That's what I was going with.
Hilarious.
And I was gonna pick Madden anyway because he was a lineman, you know. And I'm
Here we go.
Lineman at heart. There you go.
Lineman in a golf body. We know. Golf player body. Guys, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me for the first show of 2022. Awesome. Who said that? And guys, please follow me as She Say Sports on Facebook. She Say Sports 23 on IG. At She Say 23 on Twitter. And please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, that's my time for today. Until next time, this is Sonia with She Say Sports.